We are on our way to New York City, and I'm so excited. I haven't been there in 15 years, and we also got a really good deal on lie flat seats, which, if you're flying from Cali to New York, that's a big, big deal. The seats were awesome. We got fluffy pillows. They also give you Bang& Olufsen headphones. I have my AirPods, but it's still pretty cool. And you get a little like survival kit thing with a dental kit, earplugs, a face mask for sleeping. I just thought this was a super nice touch. And just like that, it was time for takeoff. So as soon as we were up in the air, our flight attendant came by and brought over some worm nuts and our beverage of choice. I always drink ginger ale while I'm flying. And then we also got our menu. So the menu was pretty extensive. There was salmon, there was chicken breast, there was sea bass, short rib, salads, and then also pretty much any alcoholic beverage you could think of. I went with the herb grilled chicken breast that came with Yukon and sweet potato gratin. The gratin was so good. The chicken was okay. It was dry, but I don't expect too much from airline food. But yeah, and then this miso sweet potato tower thing was not it for me. It was like a cold rice stack with sweet potato and sesame dressing. It was interesting. It just wasn't super flavorful, so I probably wouldn't get that again. And then on the side, there were seasonal greens and a roll. And since this was a red-eye flight, shortly after dinner, it was time to stretch out, obviously plenty of leg room, and go to sleep. So I didn't really sleep a whole lot. I ended up just watching movies, but I did happen to catch the sunrise, which was incredible. And shortly after, we got some Chobani drinking yogurt, as well as these little strawberry scones. I think just being up in the air made me feel a little icky. I wasn't super hungry, but they were tasty. I did a quick skincare routine, and then we were in New York, which is so cool. It's awesome to see it from the sky. Day one in New York City. We finally made it. We landed super early, so first thing we did was check into our hotel, and then it was time to go find bagels. The first place we tried was Popup Bagels. They are a smaller shop. It's a really cute location, and they are very busy. We had to wait in line for a couple of minutes. You choose your type of bagel and you choose your schmear. It's a very limited selection, but it's well worth the visit. These bagels were perfect. The crunchy outside, the chewy inside, and the cream cheese was super fresh. Highly recommend going here. And then it was time to go on a walk through the city streets. Interesting. At this point, I was definitely overdue for caffeine, so we stopped in at Culture Espresso. This is a small location. They do have a couple of other shops all over New York City, all sorts of lattes and hot chocolate, as well as different cookies and pastries. I know they're very well known for their corn cookie. It tastes kind of like cornbread. I personally got the black and white cookie. It was delicious. It's like a vanilla cookie with speckles of chocolate chips. And then I asked the barista, they recommended the vanilla maple latte. I burnt my tongue, but it was so delicious, just very hot. And then it was off to the subway. My first time being on the subway in so long. And we had to head over to our next destination. Our next stop was on Bleecker Street at Salt Hanks. They're known for their French dip sandwiches. We had to wait a while. If you do come here, prepare to wait at least an hour. And it's $41 for a sandwich and fries. I think this place is overrated. Personally, I wasn't a huge fan, especially for the price and how long we had to wait. It just wasn't my vibe, but maybe it's yours. After lunch, it was time for more touristy activities, so we went over to the Edge in Hudson Yards. This is a really cool observation deck. I have to say, it was probably one of my favorites for the view, but it was extremely busy, and it's hard to find a space next to the window, but that view was just absolutely incredible, and being able to watch the sunset was awesome. Day two in New York City, it was a fun one. We started the day off with bagels from Russ and Daughters. So Russ and Daughters is pretty iconic New York. They've been around since 1914 and they have a couple of locations all across the city. Their menu is pretty vast. They have a ton of different bagels to choose from, a ton of different spheres. They're also known for their fish, like their smoked fish specifically, and different toppings, salads, soups. This place has a little bit of everything. They also have a lot of treats and baked goods. We didn't get to try it because we had a whole day of eating planned. But yeah, so I kept it pretty simple here. I just did a everything bagel with vegetable schmear. It's really good, but I have to say Pop-Up Bagel was better, and I'm sure this is blasphemy, but I think if you're sticking plain, go to Pop-Up, but if you want fish and other toppings, then go to Russ and Daughters. Our next stop was Summit 1 Vanderbilt. So it's another observation deck, but this one is definitely more interactive. There's different rooms, like a mirror room, there's an art installation, there's a room with like floating balls. It was cool. The views were awesome. And this isn't sponsored, but we used Klook for all our activities. It's about $150 for the New York City Pass, and it's way cheaper than buying everything separately. After that, we stopped in at Macy Santaland. I highly recommend making reservations for this pretty early. It was cool. Like it's really neat to see all the Christmas trees and the different decorations, and it was just a fun experience and it's free. So recommend checking that out as well. After this, we stopped in at the holiday market at the Macy's Holiday Square, and it was a pretty brief visit. We stopped in at this no chewing allowed to get some hot chocolate. With how cold it was so nice to have this, even though it was hot as lava, but delicious, delicious. I would 100% get this again. And then we hopped back on the subway. For lunch, we stopped at Gotham Burger Social Club. This is a smash burger restaurant, and they actually have a brick and mortar location now. During the pandemic, they gained a lot of notoriety because of their pop-ups, but it's cool to see that they actually have a brick and mortar location, and it's really quaint and cozy feeling. Their menu includes everything from the Gotham Smash, Double Smash, Gotham Dog, tater tots, frickles, which are fried pickles, and I'm very excited for, and French fries. They also apparently have a secret menu that I wish I knew about. I went with the Gotham Smash, which was absolutely delicious, and of course had to get the frickles, and they did not disappoint. They're the best frickles I've ever had. For dinner, we stopped in at Don Angie, and it was incredible. We got the stuffed garlic flatbread as well as the chrysanthemum salad, which the chrysanthemum salad is incredible. It's like an Asian-inspired Caesar salad with sesame croutons and amazing, amazing, amazing. And then the garlic flatbread was nice and crispy. The Japanese sweet potatoes These were crispy sweet potatoes with Parmesan and Italian dressing. So good. And then we also got the lasagna. This is one of their signature dishes, and it's definitely sharing size with all the other stuff we got. We split it between 4 people, but the best lasagna that I've ever had in my life. It was so delicious. And lastly, we had the black cacao tiramisu. This too, honestly, everything here was absolutely incredible, and the people were incredible. Highly recommend going here. Our last stop was the Bryant Park Winter Village, so another holiday market. They had so many different booths and shows, and they have the giant ice rink and Christmas tree. But this is what I came for. We wanted to try the buttermie pancakes. They're mini Dutch pancakes, and then you can get them with a variety of different toppings. We opted for the chocolate chip pancakes as well as the Biscoff pancakes, which were covered in like a Biscoff sauce and a bunch of cookie dust. Incredible. It was absolutely delicious. I could eat those every day. Day 3 was super rainy, so we made our way over to Golden Diner. It's a really cozy spot located under the Manhattan Bridge. I would recommend making a reservation if you can. If not, the waits are kind of long, and if it's raining, that's not great. They have a bunch of breakfast and lunch options and a bunch of different beverages to choose from. We just got the coffee and then the golden omelet, which is an omelet with any toppings you want, and some hash browns. And of course, the honey butter pancakes. This is what they're known for. Super fluffy pancakes drenched in a maple honey syrup and topped with lemon zest butter. And then we got it with the berry compote as well. So delicious. I highly recommend coming here. After that, we made our way over to Fifth Avenue to go check out the different shops and displays. Mama's too is the best pizza. If I could import it to California, I would. It's a very busy but small pizza shop on Bleecker Street. They make these thick pizza slices with a bunch of different flavors. There's vodka sauce, buffalina. There's even like poached pear pizza. So we got a couple of slices there and we went back twice. This is hands down worth the wait, and it's the best pizza I've ever had in my life. Back to bagels. We are at our third bagel spot for this trip. This time we're at Tompkins Square Bagels in East Village. This location by far had the most variety, a bunch of different bagel flavors, sweet and savory, a bunch of different schmears, like even funfetti schmear, strawberry, sun-dried tomato, you name it, a bunch of different options. They're also the first place that actually did like breakfast sandwiches, like you do a bacon and egg bagel, which was really cool, but unfortunately we didn't have the best experience. The place was really noisy and messy, and the food preparation just wasn't great. My egg sandwich was cold, so personally, wouldn't recommend going here. It could just be that this location is really busy, but I'm still stuck on Popup Bagels. Like, if I had the choice, I would just go back to Popup. After walking around the East Village for a while, we hopped on the subway and headed over to I'm Donut. This is a fairly newer donut place, and they specialize in mochi donuts, and they have tons of different flavors. There's chocolate, there's matcha, they have espresso, and I believe the menu rotates. The place is small, but they run really efficiently, so if you line up, you'll be able to get to the front fairly quickly. We picked up a couple of donuts here, and every single one was super delicious. Then we made our way over to Central Park where the Columbus Circle Holiday Market was happening. So we walked around a bit, but then we found the no chewing allowed people again. So we got more hot cocoa and picked up a couple more truffles. So we took our hot chocolate and our donuts and made our way into Central Park. After Central Park, we were ready for dinner, but since it was Christmas Eve, a lot of places closed early, so we ended up at Jacob's Pickles. It's a more casual dining, southern comfort food chain restaurant, but everyone was super friendly and service was super quick. They serve stuff like fried chicken, biscuits and gravy, okra. We ended up going with the boneless chicken bites. These were breaded chicken nuggets with pickles, and then the smash burger, which this was just a burger patty with crispy onions and french fries. Both were pretty good for how affordable it was. After dinner, we went to Top of the Rock, which is the Rockefeller Center observation deck. You go to the top of the building. I highly, highly recommend going at night since you can see all the city lights. This was a super cool experience.
City. As his vision begins to grow, so does the project. This will be a center for commerce, art, and communications. Feel the energy and the magic that is Rockefeller Center. And trust me, that feeling never goes away. And the story is far from over. A story that you are now a part of.
Christmas Day, this was day 5 of our trip, and we went back to Bryant Park to see the holiday market. So you'll see a couple of repeats here since our trip is coming to a close very soon. We stopped by No Chewing Allowed again for the 3rd time this trip. We got hot chocolate again, but the big thing, we bought a box of truffles to take home. These were so, so delicious. The next stall we stopped by was Cheesesteaks by the Truffliest. They do a bunch of different variations of cheesesteaks, including goat cheese and truffle honey, which sounded so good. And they also have a bunch of different sides like curly fries, truffle fries. We went with the cheesesteak. It's shaved steak with mozzarella cheese and onions and peppers. Then we got the curly fries, and this had cheese sauce and truffle and parmesan. Both of these were absolutely delicious. Buttermeat pancakes again. This was so good the first time, we had to get it again. So we did Nutella, cookie butter, s'mores. Honestly, just all very, very good. For dinner, we went to Quality Meats. Quality Meats is a steakhouse that's pretty well known in New York, and it does require reservations, so highly recommend making them in advance. But it's an incredible place. I would definitely go there again. They start you off with complimentary rolls, which were warm with butter, so loved it. And then we got the filet mignon, excellent cut of meat anywhere you go, but especially here, it was so delicious. And then we also got the QM crab cake. This is a lump crab cake with a romesco sauce. Out of this world. It was so good. And then we got a couple of sides as well. The corn creme brulee, so good and so decadent. And then the spicy Brussels sprouts. which they were good, but definitely were not spicy. And then we also got the garlic confit potatoes, which was probably the least favorite, but everything else was incredible. Our final stop was the observation deck at the Empire State Building. This was probably, out of all of the observation decks, the absolute best view. The lights were awesome. It's our final day in New York City. We fly home tomorrow. So we started the day off at Clinton Street Baking Company. So it's a diner that's great for breakfast and lunch. We went there for brunch, I guess. And they have a bunch of different like waffles, usually seasonal. I started off with a cappuccino. It was really cold. It was starting to snow. So I just needed something warm, and this was so delicious. It really hit the spot. And then we got their seasonal waffle, which was the apple pie waffle. It's a fresh waffle with warm maple butter and cinnamon hot honey ice cream on the side, and then like a caramel drizzle. It was so good, but so decadent. After that, we popped by the Harry Potter store. Both being Harry Potter fans, it made sense for us to go. It's really, really cool, but really busy. On the way back to the hotel, we stopped in at Mama's 2 one last time and picked up a couple of slices, pepperoni and the vodka slice, all the good stuff, just so we can have it one last time. And then we also stopped by Magnolia Bakery on the way back as we were walking, and it started snowing pretty heavily, which was awesome. I'm so glad we got to see the snow before we left New York. And just like that, our New York trip is over. It was 6 great days of trying awesome food and new experiences and spending time with great people. We had an awesome time, but I am beyond ready to go home. I'm also really glad we got to see the snow. It was so awesome to see the snow as our trip was coming to a close. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. If there are any restaurants that you love in New York, please let me know in the comments. I'll also be posting our Google restaurant guide in the description if that helps anyone out. But yeah, we'll be back again very soon. Bye!